Welcome, everyone, to the Aging and Spirituality podcast. We're so happy to have you here. I am Kathy Lee Taylor.
And I am Chris Jensen.
And boy, do I have an interesting topic for you today. This is really close to my heart, really something that I am working on right now. And I kind of titled it How to Move from Victim to Creator Consciousness. And really, I talk about one positive shift that we can make in our lives that will make all the difference about how you approach your day, yourself, your whole life. So this is really a big one for me. I struggled with victim consciousness. I wrote about it in my book. It's always been, a pervading thing that holds me back. One of my big saboteurs. So I really have been focusing on it lately, and I've been asking myself, what does it really mean to be in the center of what feels like being a creator in the universe? How do you stay positive, and not let anyone and anything in the world take you down? I'm surely not alone in this question, right?
No, this is a great thing because often we feel like, if the events in our life or other people in our lives, we're reacting to them. But you're saying, I think, that we don't have to do that we can choose where we want to go.
She just sucked up the whole idea right there, which is perfectly okay, because that is a great segue into what we're going to talk about. We know each other very well, so she can read between the lines.
Right.
So yes. Okay. So back to where I was beginning this concept. So being a yoga or a spiritual aspirant really means that what you're doing is practicing and studying what it means to be self-aware, inner self-aware. That's what it's all about. So here's my theory. If you're in victim consciousness and you want to move to creator consciousness, you're going to have to realize that one, victim consciousness is based in fear. And two, creator consciousness is based in love. And really, it is that simple. No matter what you call it, you have to move from fear to love. So we're going to talk about exactly how you can do that. Victim consciousness.
Very exciting distinction.
Yes. And because it makes it simple to remember, right? I mean, because you're going through your day and this stuff happens and you're like, what am I supposed to do about this? And so it's easier to, when I give you little tips, I want those to be the things that you stick in your head, that when this stuff comes up, you go, okay, yeah, I'm in that moment of feeling disempowered. Now it's time for me to move into feeling empowered. How do I do that? Well, that's what we're going to talk about. That's exactly what we're going to talk about. Because when you're in creator consciousness, when you feel like you are making the right choices for your life, when you're aligned with your soul, you feel empowered. It's an entirely different energy space. So, there's lots of reasons that people stay into victim consciousness. And a lot of it has to do with the way you were raised, the environment you were raised in. That is certainly true for me. But what I want to say about that is, don't let that whole idea of where you've come from and the things that you have to quote unquote heal from stop you for a second from doing the practices that we're going to talk about today, because honestly, you can surpass all that nonsense. You don't have to go jump through like a big bunch of hills and run a bunch of courses and do a bunch of, sprints to get to where we're going. This is a very small shift in focus that you can do every time an obstacle comes up in your life. So, okay. One of the things that we do with victim consciousness, when it comes into our life, like a challenge or a conflict, really, it depends on where we're coming from to process that. So that's basically what I was saying a few minutes ago. Are you reacting from fear, or are you moving forward in love? So let's take an example. A victim is someone that's being reactive, which is what Chris said right up front when she heard the idea. A victim is being reactive. A creator is being proactive. So how do you identify which state you're actually in? This is where the self-awareness part comes in. When a conflict comes in and you have to handle it, or an obstacle comes in and you have to handle it, watch your thoughts and your feelings. feelings, these are really important because we can get torn away and kind of flow down the river of the drama of emotions, and it takes us a long time to come back. But think of your feelings as an emotional guidance system. They're a guidance system. They're telling you something's wrong, right, go this way. With some, they're always informing you on some level, so pay attention to them. Let's take a look at, we're going to take a look at what it feels like to be in victim consciousness, and then compare that to what it feels like to be in creator consciousness with inside of your thoughts and your emotions. So that's where we're going next here. Victim thoughts and feelings, when you're in the middle of that, you can feel that in your body because it creates a dissonance, a real uncomfortable feeling. Your natural state of flow is spirit, right? It wants to
the heart isn't like the heart and the navel area get kind of tied up.
Exactly. And people don't know what that is, but they know there's a discomfort, somewhere here. Somewhere. Yeah. If you were to say to them, I do this a lot in coaching, where does that discomfort live in your body? Normally it's going to be right at their heart or in their belly. They feel it because it's not natural to be in that kind of dissonance. The flow of spirit is very natural. It's meant to be going up and down your spine and through your consciousness. So you feel that dissonance and it feels uncomfortable. That's your very first clue. So it feels powerless when you are in victim consciousness, like you don't have a choice. Sometimes it even feels really hopeless when you get really far down the line with that kind of being disempowered. It feels hopeless. So oftentimes if we get that far, we're going to want to quit, disengage from the situation. Maybe you're just a big old whiner, complainer. You're always, oh, poor me. And you may not be saying that to everybody, but you might be saying it to yourself a lot. If you're feeling that way about yourself, you're like, the poor me, the world is so against me. Oh, dang, there's a red flag right there. Remember that one. You're definitely in victim consciousness if you're doing that. So we don't want to be powerless. We don't want to be hopeless. We want to be in control of our lives. That's a much more natural state. That's what spirit wants for you. That's what your soul wants for you. It's tempting to blame the victim consciousness and try to control the situation. A lot of people will turn into, and I did this, the rescuer. I'm going to rescue me from this situation. I'm going to rescue everybody else from this situation. I had a really mentally unstable parent, so I had a very codependent relationship with her where I was trying to fix everything before it even happened. Come in the room and fix the unhappy person so that everybody else doesn't have to suffer for the rest of the day. That kind of thing. So your ego gets sucked up in that, and it thinks this is part of who you are. It's not. You're a little. Most of the time, you're a little kid when this stuff grows and starts.
And it's much harder when you're a little kid because you're not supposed to be the one in charge.
You're not, and you're doing the best you can, right? You're doing
right. You feel like you are, yeah,
right. But those are the kinds of things that do get trapped inside the memory in the body, and these are the kinds of things that, as we become, farther down the road in our yoga practice, we become aware of these things. And we have to let them go on some level. Sometimes they feel like big mountains you're letting go. Sometimes they're just little peas that you're flicking out of your way. But this idea that we're talking about today in terms of working with your focus will take you a long way if you just do this practice. So, and we're getting there. So we want to compare that victim consciousness to what I'm calling creator consciousness, because I love that feeling of getting up in the morning and thinking, oh, I'm going to be in greater consciousness. It's easier to talk about that than when I was always talking about, oh, I want to be in divine love, and people would look at you like, what in the is that?
It's you have no experience of it. You don't know what it is. Yeah,
it's harder to explain. It really is. So I really enjoyed transferring all my ideas into this creator thing because it's very easier for people to understand it. They know what it means to create. They know how empowering that feels when they're in that actual energy. And when you're connected to that energy, you are connected to your inner self. So you're getting guidance and you will be successful. Just listen to it. That's the biggest distinction. The creator consciousness will take you where you need to go. to the success, to what it is that you need to do next. That's where you want your focus to be. So when you're in creative consciousness, your actions are positive, they're constructive, 100%. Don't cheat yourself. You don't have to have any negativity going on, right? When you'll know when you're being successful at being positive, because you're going to start seeing the outcomes that you want happening.
Yeah.
You're on the right track. So I'm just gonna stop here for a minute and give a little story about something that I've been struggling with. This is over a period of time, but it's a great example of what I'm talking about. I was feeling really stuck in moving forward with the idea of starting a coaching career. And I was confused all the time, couldn't get clarity on, is this what I really want to do? I've been a business entrepreneur my whole life. Do I really want to, jump into doing this other thing? Is this just my ego wanting to fix everybody? Which it kind of was. But it's kind of evolved past that. But I really struggled with that, for quite a while. So no matter how hard I tried, it was something like I felt like the ego was trying to trick me into knowing the answer, so I couldn't move forward, like I felt really, really stuck, like all the time. So, okay, this is where yoga kicks in. If you're practicing yoga and being, self-aware, it occurred to me, just go inside and get calm. This storm for me was quite large. So it took me a moment to get to that place where I was like, go inside and get calm. If I'd have called Chris, she would have said, go inside and get calm. Right? During the moment that you're frustrated.
Right, because you can't figure out anything when you're in that turmoil. You just create more turmoil. My daughter is an expert at this. I mean, something
which
comes
is
up.
Why she's her daughter.
Right. I mean, she just goes in a cycle to the worst possible scenario, like it's practically the end of the world. And then when she finally gets to the end of it and lets go, then she comes up with an intuitive solution and she's fine. But she has to go through that process. And I wish she didn't, but that's
that. And that's what being a parent is. You got to let go and let them go through their stuff.
Right.
You should get her to listen to this, and maybe she'll like this scenario. Because I'm going to tell, there's just a little bit more to this story, but it will apply to how she handles things. So anyway, I asked myself, okay, go inside, get calm, and ask, what is really going on here? Here's the interesting part. I had this vision of myself standing in the center of a tornado, literally. I mean, I've never done that, but I've heard it described. You can be in the middle of a tornado, right? And it's calm inside there and you're safe, and all this is going on around you, right?
Mm-hmm.
All this drama. But I wasn't in danger. Didn't feel like I was in danger, but there was all this drama happening around me, right? So then the next thing in this vision, I'm still, inside looking at this, that I see this cartoon character. This is the great part. This is part of my personality coming out, which Chris will recognize. I see this cartoon character, and it's the Tasmanian Devil. Remember that? Remember that little guy with?
I remember the Tasmanian. Yeah.
I love that character. As a little, I still love that character. Forget it as a little kid. I still love that character. So I asked the Taz, what message he's trying to send me, right? And what it turned out to be was that the Tasmanian Devil, likes to stir up dirt and pretend it's fun. And it was so applicable to the situation that I was in, right? It made it like so obvious. What a funny analogy. Made it so obvious to me what I was doing. The kid part of me really liked that scenario. The kid part of me likes to poke the bear and see what's going to happen. Mm-hmm. And here it was, just like showing up in an entirely different way. And I call it now the drama scenario. Mm-hmm. But I really, now I understand, that I was creating that drama, and that drama about keeping myself stuck and all of these decisions that I had to make. And, I'm, in a dilemma about what my purpose is, and just blah, 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 over and over and over again. It was just nonsense, just complete and utter drama and nonsense, and not taking me where I needed to go at all. It was totally sabotaging my progress. So what I did with that, to finish off that story, was instead of letting that energy sabotage where I wanted to go, I changed that, what would you call that, persecutor kind of energy into a challenge. And I said, how can I use this to make myself move forward. And I was literally able to just, see the tornado on the outside dissolve, like make friends with the Taz. I'm going through all these gyrations. Make friends with the Taz because I didn't want to kick him out. I like him. I wanted to keep him around, and make him my friend so he could be my ally and he could kind of go with me instead of having to sabotage me and be in that poke the bear situation.
I think that Taz is the perfect thing, right?
For me, right? It's my personality totally, that just like whirlwind, get in your face kind of thing. So there you go. There's a situation that I was creating drama in my life and I was able to go inside and change my focus, look at it completely differently and utterly change the energy of that situation. And you can do that with whatever is in your life that you feel is sabotaging you, whatever you feel is standing in your way and the energy is not flowing through you. Spirit is always flowing through you. You're like drip, drip, drip on top of your head all the time. If you're not feeling that, you're not connected. You're sabotaging that energy. So drama has to go. We can watch drama on TV. That's okay. But drama has to go.
We don't need to have internal drama, right?
Yeah, not if we want to be in a world where we're happy and peaceful and content and all of those fun things. Yeah, we don't need those dramas. Fun drama is kind of fun. But so okay, so just to sum up that particular story, I wanted to just talk a little bit about what it feels like to me. This is my personal experience. When I feel like I'm in creator consciousness mode, this is how it feels in my body. So just listen to these descriptions and maybe it'll stick with you and you'll be able to know when you're moving closer to creative consciousness. My body feels calm. All my needs are taken care of. I'm not striving. I'm in a mode of giving and receiving. It's a flow. Myself feels seen and heard, and I feel loved and I feel worthy. My mind is open and receptive. There's a constant give and flow. Again, a give and receive flow that's going on. My heart is expanded and connected to others and the world energetically. My soul is able to flow through my physical being without impediment. That's like your first clue. My demeanor reflects happiness, calm, content, joyful, and harmony. So those are real descriptions of what it feels like to be in creative consciousness. Remember, strive to go there.
Those are very beautiful. And, I think even if you have one or two of those,
yes,
you're going in the right direction. You may not experience it all at once,
Absolutely. That's a great point. You absolutely just work on one at a time, paying attention to them. These are things that I've been working on forever, for years, 40 something years. So now I'm starting to see them all lining up, really, like I said before, it's hard to talk to somebody about what divine love feels like, but divine love is really a continual positive state of being in creative consciousness. That's the truth. That's the truth right there. So you want to bring in that expansive feeling of deep and unconditional love. That's a great practice right there. If you wanted to just do that as an exercise, sit and bring in that feeling of what does it feel like to be completely immersed in divine love, expansive and unconditional divine love. You ask that question enough times, you'll get the answer. So, okay, so being a creator, the other thing I wanted to just point out, being a creator is kind of the same idea that yogis talk about Leela, that being able to play in the universe, play with God, feels exactly like that. Feels like being, right? Doesn't it?
Right.
You see her smile,
you know, as opposed to a war,
Yeah.
You're going to play. Yeah.
Yep. That's exactly what it feels like. You're learning who you are, what you want, how to create in life. It literally is a choice of where we put our focus. That's the exercise. Where are you going to put your focus? 100% on the positive, 100% in being a creator, and just, you don't need all that other stuff, that other drama. Just let it go. Let it go. You want to feel empowered so you can do something about your life and be moving forward all the time. You're good. You will be surprised when you get yourself established in this mode, how much energy comes in. Because you're not stopping it. You just have a constant flow and you're like, okay, what's next? We're getting shit done. That's how I felt the last few days, I'm just getting stuff done. So Just summing up, creators choose their response to life's challenges. Remember, I talked about conflicts in the
I think
beginning.
that's so important that you think about, you have a choice.
Yep.
You can choose to be a creator rather than a victim.
Yep. We usually give you tips in here, and that one right there is the biggest one, your choice. Being self-aware to know that something's going on, that you need to make a choice. Where am I going to go? This way or this way or this way?
Yeah.
Yeah. A creator is, they know this process is going on, and they don't get dragged down or under by being a victim to anything. Say goodbye to that consciousness. You don't need it. It doesn't serve a purpose anymore. Focus on what inspires you. The result will come from the universe as you align yourself with the things and people and ideas that you want to serve. Put your focus there, and you will never not feel empowered.
Yes.
You will be completely and utterly empowered. Coach yourself every day. I mean, just tell yourself to be positive. Continually shift your focus from negative to positive. Shift your focus from victim to creator. And you will literally naturally align yourself in a way that you're going to fulfill your dharma, and you are going to live a happy, happy life. Yay!
Hey, and it's your choice.
Yes, it's absolutely your choice. Gosh, I hope some of that was stuff you can, put in your pocket and take with you. If you have any questions, let me know. This is a big subject for me. It's one that I'm working on. I'm actually working on another book, and this is going to be one of the topics of it, is how to have that creator consciousness working for you every day of your life.
Yeah, no matter what. I love it. I love it.
Thank you. Take care, everyone. See you
Bye.
next week.